Brenda B. Moore. She's the executive director of Keep Liberia. Okay, so Madam Moore, let me welcome you to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
I hope you're okay. You need one. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Okay. Basically, we sought to invite you because you are making some inroads on trying to educate, inform, and bring to the fore some of the works our women, the contributions women have been making, and that's a major project that you've undertaken. So we thought that it was quite necessary to come and explain to us basically the intent and the work you adore. Why is it that you want to bring the contributions of women to the fore? Why you want to have us to understand or inform us about the work that women have been doing in publishing a book. But first, let's hear from you. Give us a background. How did it all start with you?
Thank you so much. So let me just talk a little bit first about KEEP. So KEEP
Okay.
is a Kids Educational Engagement Project.
Okay.
We were founded in 2014 during the height of the Ebola crisis, and at the time, everybody's attention was on the Ebola outbreak and the medical response. So my family and I started producing worksheets for children that we will provide for them to keep engaged academically. A lot of volunteers joined us in an initiative that was supposed to just be in my community around Baptist Seminary. Ended
Okay.
up ended up expanding across the country, and we ended up reaching about 7,000 children. What we realized was that a lot of the children struggle to read. And so when Ebola ended, a couple of us professionals decided to find meaningful ways that we could contribute to the country. It's not always just complaining what's not there. What can you do?
Visually.
And so we formalized the organization, and one of the pillars that we're most known for is creating mini libraries.
Okay.
So over the years, my organization has been able to um, create 29 libraries,
29.
29
Okay.
mini libraries across Liberia. So currently we have,
Across Liberia?
yes, we're in 10 counties.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, we're in 10 counties. Along those lines of promoting, because you can tell children to read and then they don't have access to books.
Surely.
So our thinking has been tell the children to read and then provide them books that they can actually read, because you don't see libraries around the country. So it's along that vein of thought that we also started producing our own books, because it's nice that the kids can read about other countries or read about other contexts, but it's nice also to pick up a book and see the nimusu.
Okay.
It endears them a little bit more to
Yeah, surely.
the story. And so in 2020, we started producing our own books.
For the kids.
Yes, for
Okay.
children.
Okay.
We were the first and only organization that actually produced two books that was just geared towards children around COVID,
Okay.
teaching them how to protect themselves, how to interact with others when it comes to COVID. Um, One of the books is called Dada Knows All About Coronavirus,
Okay.
and the second one is All I Need to Know About Coronavirus. So in fact, since then, we've been able to produce five books,
Okay.
three of which have made it to the national reading list. And our work in the sector has been recognized by the Ministry of Education, and to the extent where in 2020 they actually awarded our organization a National Literacy Award. So it's along those lines that we, again, trying to encourage children to read, but then we also realize that our society is one where we're so good at telling people how great they were when they die.
Okay.
We'll go to funerals and we
Paying
say,
tribute to another.
yeah, you're telling the person, all these beautiful things that they cannot hear. And so the idea came sometime last year to do something that recognizes the efforts of known and not so known women, things that they are doing in their communities, big things and small things, but just to encourage them, one. Two, to also provide something that young girls and women can look at and become inspired and say, oh, I want to be a military personnel. I want to be a law enforcement personnel. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a businesswoman, and so providing something that girls can look through and say, oh, I want to be this, like positive aspirations, and giving women their recognition while they're still alive. So that's where all of this came in, and the intent is to do it in two phases because I want to cover 150 women, and we'll do part one and then part two. So part one is what is coming up, and I choose to title this project
Okay.
"Living Legends."
Living legends.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. At least you've given us the background as to how did it all start. Now, like you said, built in a young woman specifically, that courage, that encouragement. That look, if mother or Mrs. You know, Madam Brown can do this. I'm sure I can, provided I start to do it. But again, it's just a book that how are you trying? Uh, First, before I come to that, the book has been ready, right?
Yes.
Now, what's the message? Let's assume you pick up maybe Mary Brunel. What is it that you are penning down, or you've penned down in that book that people should read, and young women should read, and begin to emulate, maybe prepare themselves so that they can be like they can be another Mother Mary Brunel.
So that's good. So a part of it, part of what we've tried to do, one, is to provide a profile on these women. Tell tell the public who's reading the book a little bit about that person,
Okay.
and then also tell them about some of the things that this person has done or is doing in their community or in the profession that is admirable. We also provide the title or the profession, and it kind of define the profession for the child. So, a pilot, what is a pilot? What does a pilot do?
The
What
profession of the woman you are writing
Yes,
about.
yes.
Okay.
And then the book also has different activities, fun-based activities at the back of it. So how the students can match different professions to the names. If you put a title, what does this mean? Just kind of like getting them to have different fun activities. Word puzzles are in the book. Um, a little bit of drawing. So we have the image of the person being featured along with an illustration of them that the child can also color and do some writing and activities at the back. So it's not just opening the book and reading about somebody, but reading about what the person has done,
Okay.
reading about a profession. Because in the process of that, I'm hoping, like I said, to inspire. So if a child sees somebody who's in the book that has done something and say, oh, if this woman came from such a background, she came from a family of 11 girls, in the interior,
And-
she
and
found
she stood
her
up.
way to now becoming a judge. How did she do it? I want to be like this woman.
Okay.
So providing positive role models for them, but also fun activities in the book as well.
Okay. Now, so since you've done the writing of the book, how many women have can if I open the book now? How many women would I read about?
Okay, good. So, like I mentioned, it's going to be in two parts. This first part, we're targeting 65 women. We had reached out to a lot of people. Some people agreed. Some people said, I don't want to be in it. So, right now, for this book one, we're targeting 65 women, and it covers up to 20 professions:
Okay.
musicians, doctors, business women, um, law enforcement officers. So it's a broad range of different professions.
I'm still trying to get to where I want to get.
Get there.
Surely, Who are those women that are currently in the book that we are expecting to launch anytime?
Okay, so I will give you a
Fine.
teaser because we're selling the books also as a way of funding our nonprofit organization, the work that we're doing. So the cover of the book has a couple of women listed. You will see clearly Geraldine George, who's the military personnel.
Okay.
Her story
Okay.
is inspiring. I mean,
At the armed forces.
yes, I mean, she's there, and if you read her story, you really, if you're a young woman who's interested in military work or anything around law enforcement, you'll be so inspired just seeing such a young woman, looking at it, say, this woman can, young woman like this can get to this level, the amount of education she's been able to obtain.
So Geraldine George is one.
Yes, she's
Okay.
one, she's in there. Hester Williams.
Hester Williams.
Yes.
Katakau.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I know.
she said we shouldn't put the katakao.
Oh,
She's Hester
okay.
Williams.
She's Hester Williams.
Yes,
I,
yes.
I know what to be Hester Williams.
This
Katakau.
woman is phenomenal.
Okay.
This woman has written so much, so many books. She has built an education system that is renowned. Like she has school systems that so many people want their children to attend.
I sure
And she's been very instrumental in developing the reading culture in Liberia. Written several books, even the entire curriculum around reading. She's one of those who actually developed that.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know about her and don't know about the kind of impact that she's made as well. So she's in there as well. Let me see who else is on the cover that I could mention. Reverend, she just passed away.
Okay.
Reverend Cooper, Katura
okay.
Cooper. When I reached out to people when I started the project, some people were hesitant, thought it was a political project. Some people were like, she was one person immediately she accepted. And what I asked them to do was give me a little bit of your profile, and then we did our own research as well. And when I shared with her her edited profile that we wanted to feature her on, she said, Brenda, this is so great, because too often we go to people, we don't appreciate the living and the work
Surely.
that people do and motivate them.
Okay.
This is so great. And she said, you know what happened? I want you to also add that I was the only clergy person,
Okay.
the Women Mass Action for Peace, that was sitting in front of fish market there
Yeah, surely.
during the war.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Sis Lema Bowie. But she was one of the founding members of that.
Okay.
When we're having issues around rape, this is one person whose voice was always loud. She did so much. This woman formed over 20 village savings clubs around the country. But again, we don't appreciate
Okay.
it. So those are some of the people that we're covering.
Okay, you just name 3 of them. No problem, because I want you to go on and name me maybe about 10 of them so that we get to know who are those women. But the thing is that why do you go to them seeking consent, their consent, before publishing them?
So there are a couple, maybe I think out of the 70 or 65 that we're featuring in this book, there are only 3 that we actually didn't get a written consent from,
Okay.
or verbal consent. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she's a public figure. We figure that
She's in the book as well?
she's in the book. I mean, you can't write about living legend and leave out Ellen Johnson.
I know what to
There is no way. I mean,
I know.
she is a legend.
She's in the book. Okay.
She's there.
Now, so you ask about her consent before?
No, I'm saying that there are some people that we didn't get written consent from. Ellen was one, and we figured that she's a public figure. She won't mind being appreciated. But the rest of the...
But why do you go to get a consent
Because
for
you-
writing about them?
Some people may not want to be in it. Some people may not want the attention. Some people just don't like that kind of publicity around it. Won't just remain in a little corner. But there was one person who I contacted who was well known back in the day. I wouldn't mention her name. But when I called her, she said, I don't want to have anything to do with Liberia. I'm done with Liberia. I'm tired with Liberia.
She's in the diaspora.
Yes.
Okay.
And she said, I had nothing to do with Liberia. Don't call my phone again. She hung up. So imagine if I had featured this person, and she's not as inclined towards that. So we tried as best as possible when we're doing the project to get the consent of all of those that are being featured.
Let's be specific, because you just mentioned a name that is in the book, that is in the book, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. what is it that you've written? Because, like you indicated, the one major intent of this whole project is to encourage young people so that they can, they can read about women, about their lives, about their achievements, about about what they've done, how they've contributed to the country, so that they can say, well, if this woman can do it, I think I can, to build that self, esteem out of that. What is it that you've written about the former president that is worth, reading by our younger women to want to follow suit?
So far, I won't explain everything because I won't put a Bible.
I know, but it's
let
just
me
about.
just say something. Let me just say something. Number one, Ellen was the first democratically elected female president of Liberia, but also across the African continent. That's a milestone. That's something that you can't deny. That's phenomenal. That's amazing. There are countries that have been established even long before Liberia, or even more richer countries. That don't even in America that we're all looking forward up to. America don't have any woman that has risen to that position. That is something that's to be commended. But also her journey, a little bit about her journey and some of the accomplishments that she's done. So, like I mentioned,
But the two
like I
also
mentioned,
are coming. The two, I know, you just said it, being the first democratically elected, female president. Yes, it's something worth mentioning. Talking about her journey before she got to the presidency, it's worth mentioning. But the two also pen as to how does she govern the country and
no,
successes she
no,
made.
the book
But
doesn't.
why the two?
No,
Why were you sure of
no,
that?
no, not short of that. So there are a couple of things. It's not about looking at the faults. There's no perfect human being.
Okay.
There's no perfect human being. But what did she accomplish? What did she? What are the things that she did that a young girl who's interested in politics can look up to?
Okay.
We're talking about more women in political participation, more women in governance, more women challenging and stepping up. She did that. So if we have a young lady who's interested in politics and she's looking for someone to mentor her or somebody to aspire to, that's one good public figure you can look to and
Okay.
point out to. So it's not about looking at someone's faults or things that you
No,
might
I was
aspire,
no,
not necessarily you now, but
I'm not
someone will say,
saying
"Oh,
that.
she could have done it this way." No, but what did she accomplish?
No, I thought in your rhetoric you would have indicated, she came, she went through some of the difficult time, and she became president as well, the first African female, democratically
All of
elected
those I
president.
mentioned.
All of those I mentioned. I
Yeah.
thought you would have also indicated that during her administration, she was able to achieve this and achieve that. I thought that
When
was
you
also
when
and she didn't achieve it.
it may be in there, it may not be in there.
It may
When you
be.
buy a copy, you will be able to.
You're listening to the SMS rated on your BC 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. Our guest here is Madam Brenda B. Moore. She's the executive director of Keep Liberia. She's written. Now, are you being paid for all of what you are doing?
No, no, no. Nobody has paid me a dime to be featured in the book. Nobody has contributed financially to the production of the book. So I mentioned it's a non-profit organization. And
But how are you raising the resources? Because it's lots, it's costly, very astronomical.
well, not astronomical. I mentioned we've already produced 5 books previously.
Okay.
We're also one of the very few local organizations that has been able to demonstrate the ability to sustain itself. And these are some of the little things that we do. We have previous books that we've written that are sold across the country. They're stocked in different supermarkets. They are available on Amazon as well. We've also been able to have different fundraising events that help support our organization. So this book is not funded by or supported by any individual that's mentioned in the book. What we appreciate though is that people will buy the book because in the process of doing that, it enables us to also continue doing some of our literacy programs. But there's nobody who has paid any money to be featured in the book, and neither do we intend to collect money from anybody to become featured in the subsequent books that we'll do around this.
Now, writing about women, writing about females who've contributed immensely to our country. How do their names uh, come to your mind? How do you recollect about what they've done?
That's a very good question, actually. So what I did was I connected with different networks,
Okay.
different women's groups. Wrote them and said, "Look, this is what I'm working on. You are plugged into different counties. You're plugged into different communities. You're plugged into different networks. I'm looking for women that we can feature in the book." People made recommendations. And then those who were recommended, when we did the interview, we also asked them, pay it forward. Like, can you recommend other women? Are there other women you know that are doing little or big things that you think we should be able to recognize their work?
Okay.
And then they also recommended, people. Um, and then some people heard about it and said, oh, have you spoken to this person? Have you reached out to this person? I would have loved for the first book to cover like 7,500 women, but the process of getting people profiles, process of getting people photos, process of editing it, the process of getting the illustrations, it took a lot longer than I initially anticipated. But we really did get a lot of people to send in names, so a lot more names will be available for book two. I'm sure when people see what we've done now, they will not be so hesitant to be as forthcoming with some of the information that we're asking for.
Now, you talk about women who've contributed very immensely to our country. I know you also mentioned those who were involved with the peace negotiation, all of that. Do you have, have the names Mary Brannell, Lehman Bowie, Etwida Cooper? Has that come to your mind as well?
Yes, those names were also recommended.
Okay. And are they in the books?
Somebody
No, I mean, I just try to.
I'm trying to stick to those that are on the cover, so that
I'm
people
curious because
are curious enough to buy the book and know if someone that they know or may not know is mentioned. But I'll tell you this: that those names you mentioned, a couple of them might be in there in book one, and a couple of them might be in book two.
Okay. Now you got the book already made, isn't so?
Yeah.
Okay. So what next? Since that you've already done the compilation, you've written the book. What next?
So we're launching the book. We're launching the book on November 19th at the Ministerial Complex, 6 p.m. At that event, we're hoping to have a lot of those who are featured in the book to be present, so that we can also say thank you to them for their contributions that they're making to make Liberia better. We're also using the event as a fundraising opportunity for our organization. Because, like I mentioned, we build libraries, we create libraries. This entails bringing in containers of books, clearing it from the port. Excuse me. This entails buying planks to build the shelves for these libraries, paint, etc. And all of this takes place. You cannot happen in the absence of funds.
Sure.
And so we're using the book launch also as a medium to also fundraise for our next year project.
Why Brenda Moore will be involved with uh, writing books, wanting to encourage young people to read about women who contributed immensely to the success of our country, then wanted to maybe seek for political office or
Hey,
something?
so, you know, when we started Keep in 2014, and we're going from community to community, village to village, a lot of people at the time thought I had political ambition. 2014, we in 2022.
Okay.
I have no intention of running for political office. Not because I don't think I'm capable, but I believe that servitude in service shouldn't always be about leading from government side. There are other ways that you can impact. The other thing is that too often we allow other people to tell our stories for us. And when we allow that, they tell the stories the way they want to tell the story. When you get a story about Africa, how it's portrayed, it's not always in the best light. And so I wanted to do this project also to have it a story being told by a Liberian
Okay.
for Liberian women. Let us be the ones to tell our story. It shouldn't be a foreigner coming here recognizing the work that we're doing individually and collectively. So first of all is to tell our stories, to provide aspiration for young women. motivation for those who are doing these different things in their little ways, and also to tell our stories our own way. Secondly, I have no political ambition.
Okay.
I'm not interested
And
in
you will never
politics.
have.
What never belongs to God,
Okay.
but if
You may have in
it,
the future.
it's possible, but
Okay.
honestly, I don't have the bandwidth for politics. For me, politics is just a lot of talking and talk. For me, I'm a doer. I like to get things done, and I don't think I'll be very effective as a politician. No.
Are you? Is there in any way have you thought that writing about women, in our country who've made some inroads, some marks, it's about also trying to popularize me. Have you thought on that?
Popularize what?
To popularize you, maybe to make you, so known around around the country.
We've done 29 libraries in 10 counties. If you even say 100 students in the school, which is a very minimum, that's 100 times 29. That's enough people that know me. The students
Okay.
know me. It's not about seeking public attention for myself. It's about how can I bring the attention to others who are doing work, good work. People recognize me. People tell me thank you for the work that we're doing in promoting literacy. For me, that's enough. I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in knocking my chest and saying, I mean this. No. If the government recognizes my work, like the Ministry of Education did and said, KEEP has been a consistent partner to the government of Liberia. And as such, they've done tremendous work in this sector. KEEP is the recipient of the National Literacy Award. That's big for me because it means the national government has recognized the work that we're doing. I don't need to come and tell Eden Johnson, you have done this for her to recognize me. No. Recognition for me is those who were supporting, those who are working with, recognize that this is what we're trying to do to change the narrative of Liberia. And that's enough.
Looking to the women population, yes, I agree with you. People often praise people, when they are dead, when they are gone, and you thought that it was quite necessary to lift the recognition of the legends, women legends, which is good. But and like you said, it's basically also intended to encourage other young women to follow suit. Have you been able also to do your own research on the way, especially women in our generation now, some not intending, they don't have that zest, they're being carried away by peer pressure, and many of them don't, find themselves in, don't want to find themselves in school. Some going to school and that being serious. Have you able to, do your own research to pen something in the book that people can read or young women can read to encourage them as well?
So that isn't specifically spelled out in that way. I'm hoping that through the profiles of reading about the profiles and some of the struggles of some of these women will serve as an inspiration. I also know that mentorship is something that somebody has to want to be mentored or coached or mentored to be able to be mentored. But by reading about somebody who had a challenge, somebody who had to change careers 3 times to settle into this, and that for me is also encouraging because it shows that if I'm not interested in, I mean, I've studied this or I started studying this, and I may find down the road I'm not interested in, I can change my mind, and so it's not the end of the world if you fail in one area. So then that someone reading about that person's profile gets motivated out, oh, but I want to change career 3 times, so I can also not necessarily change career, but it's not a bad thing to also reevaluate where I see myself and where my passion is.
Okay. Now, but you also looking at what have you been able to? Again, I'm coming to the question. Have you been able to look back at some of the challenges that young women face today? Um, some drop out of schools and some don't have the capacity, the issue of abuse and all of that. That could also stall or discourage them from wanting to be like maybe Mother Brunel or somebody. Have you, looked into that as well?
So we haven't looked, I didn't consider listing issues that are affecting girls and young women, not particularly. I thought that by telling the stories of people who've overcome, and the ways that they
Despite all
found,
the odds.
yes, that is an inspiration in itself. Um, you may not always have the opportunity to pick up the phone and speak to somebody who's overcome, but by reading about somebody that had a lot of difficulty, somebody who came from a family that said we don't value girls education, you don't go to school, sit down, your brothers will go to school, and that person, mother finding a way to make sure the child go to school and the child becoming a judge. That's a phenomenal story that a person can look at and say, oh, even though my family isn't as interested in this, but if this woman could do it, I can do it. So that, I'm hoping, is a way of motivating girls and young women.
Madam Bo, I'm sure you are a Liberian and you are in Liberia. You understand the cultural practices as well, cultural norms. Those could be some of the challenges also affecting, especially our young women in rural Liberia who want to excel. Somebody reading your book and maybe saying, "Oh, I want to be like former President Lyndon Johnson said." But culture also is something that's impeding, or that may likely impede them from, reaching that level. Why didn't you consider that?
Consider what?
So, no,
Including.
including cultural, barriers and all of that. Look, to tell us, despite whatever you go through, maybe cultural challenges or cultural barriers or whatever it is, you can still excel.
So maybe that's a constructive feedback. So maybe for book two, those are some of the things that we could consider. But again, the intention wasn't particularly to highlight the
So you are only
challenges
highlighting the positives of those women.
not just the positives. Like I mentioned, a lot of them had challenges that we're highlighting in the book, that we're mentioning in the book. But it doesn't go on to say all girls and young women drop out of school because of cultural harmful traditional practices. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say, girls and young women are not going to school because of economic hardship. No. It talks about somebody who had an economic hardship and found a way to overcome it, and this is what they're doing now. It talks about somebody who came from a deeply traditional background, and despite those cultural hindrances, still found herself, achieving, becoming this. So without directly highlighting the negative norms that we have in our society, it talks about how people are overcoming it. How are some of these women overcoming it? So it doesn't focus on highlighting the bad things that we have in our society. It focuses on how people are overcoming these things to being living legends.
Are you looking, maybe thinking about writing about men also? Or
No,
you don't have that on your
no,
mind?
it's not on my mind. It's not on my mind at all.
Why? Because there are men who've made some.
Then let a man get up
Oh,
and
let
write a
a man-
book on men.
They're being biased now.
Yes, I am being 100% biased, unapologetically biased.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, Sorbor. I'm focusing on highlighting the efforts of women. That is in no way negating the efforts and contributions of men. I'm not saying they're not doing great things. I'm saying my project, my focus is on highlighting the work of women. Women across Liberia. And this is also a public call. People who we're in the process of also getting profiles and recommendations for people in other parts of the country. So if you know of anybody in your community who's doing something great, we would love to feature them. So you can go on our page. We have our email address. We have our telephone numbers there that they can actually call or text and let us know. We'll be able to to reach out to them and see how we can feature their work. We also do a little bit of background check to be able to feature them in the book. So it's not just about women in Monrovia. We try to make it as diverse as possible. But again, it's not a focus. My focus is not on doing a book on living men legends. It's on living.
You don't have that at all.
It's
on
not.
your
No,
mind.
it's not on my plate.
And it would never come in your mind.
Never belongs to God.
Okay. Okay. Now, I know you spoke about how the entire work is being funded by something from raisers and other people who chip in. But how much did it cost you to come up with that publication?
Um, Close to $10,000.
10,000?
Yeah, because you.
Liberian dollars or US?
But Close to $10,000 because you have to pay for the illustrations that are going in the book. You have to pay for the printing of the book. So we're not just printing it on flying sheet. It has to be compiled. You have to do layouts. You have to have somebody to do proofreading and editing. You have to do, so it's a cost that goes with that.
Okay.
So close to about $10,000.
It seems like your family got a lot of money.
No, this is strictly nonprofit work that is
Okay.
funded by our nonprofit organization.
Okay. So what is it that you're looking out for, especially during the launch? Do you want to maybe raise more than what you used to publish? Or?
Absolutely. Again, the intention of this is to highlight the works of women. It's also to provide inspiration and aspiration for girls and young women. It's also there to encourage people to read because in the process of learning about somebody, you have to read. Um, some of the activities in the book also teaches new words. So we want to be able to raise money to support our work. We want to be able to raise money to do book two. We want to raise money to continue our reading programs that we have, our village savings loans programs that we have, etc. So the launch is the beginning. We're hoping to get more people to buy the books, schools to buy the books also, where they can even have reading sessions where they talk about different women, professions as well.
Okay.
We're also hoping that, because it's going to be live on Amazon as well, we're going to sell the book on Amazon as well. And yes, and get people to read about, families who want to buy, if somebody they know is being featured, of course, they want to buy copies of the book to have in their libraries as well.
Okay.
Schools can buy some, etc.
I did hear you talking about village saving loan. What is
Yes.
that?
So village savings loan. So it's a program that you bring about 25 to 30 people together, and you either provide a seed fund for them, or they provide their own seed fund. You basically teach
Specifically
them.
women again?
No. It's not.
This time around you cut across that.
Yeah, we cut across. Initially, we started it with just women. We have about 11 clubs now. We started with just women, but then there was a demand from the men to also become.
There's demand from men for you to
Yes.
write about men as well now. I'm making that demand for
Okay,
men.
someone will call right and they want for men, yeah.
Okay, so, but again, it brings me to the question, very short now, open the lines. Why are you involved with all of this? You don't have anything called politics on your mind.
No.
You're bringing women and men together, trying to find loans for them to build their livelihood and all of that. You're writing about, women, especially women who've done well in society, trying to build your popularity in another way amongst the women population. What are you doing out of this, Madam Brenda Moore?
It's me all of this, and she can get political aspiration.
No, I'm just, I'm just asking.
So, I believe honestly that I'm meant to do this because it's just been on my heart. But more importantly, social justice is really important for me. Without education, what we're seeing in our society today, we'll see it 50 years from now.
Okay.
We have to be deliberate and intentional about ensuring that everybody in this country, children, have access to quality education. Because of quality education, you're able to ask the right questions. You're able to evaluate and assess things better. With quality education, people look at different ways that they can make money outside of government. People want to open their businesses. People want to become better farmers. People want to do a lot of things. So it's not only about focusing on government job. If we have more literate society, the entire country benefits from this.
Sure.
And so we make promoting literacy a flagship pillar for our organization because we believe that if people are equal, the inequality gap is closer. You won't have, if you and myself got the same house somewhere, the same quality of house. If somebody bringing fire in the community, you will not sit down and say, yeah, bring the fire. Yeah, bring the fire.
Sure.
Or like I told the people in the village yesterday, you must have a farm. With 4 of us sitting here, we have a farm. You will not sit down and let somebody bring fire and start burning grass near other farm because you know that the fire will travel. So if we all have a stake and we know that we have something to lose,
Okay.
we won't be so inclined towards violence and civil unrest and all of that. So intention for all of this is to see how we can, as best as we can,
Okay.
close the inequality gap, have more people educated. Because I believe even if my children are educated, they have access to quality life, and there are others, 5, 10 others that they associated with that don't have that quality of life. Their own peace is threatened, and so for me, that's what motivates me because
Okay.
it's not enough, Sobo, that we always asking outsiders to help us.
Sure.
We should be the ones making things happen for ourselves.
So when is the launch of this book scheduled for?
November 19th, 6 p.m.
Oh, the 19th
Ministerial
of
Com-
November.
November, yes.
That is 3 days after my birthday.
You're
Okay,
joking.
so-
But we'll celebrate a birthday there, my man.
Can you imagine that? So where that will be?
Ministerial complex.
Oh, Ministerial Complex.
Yes.
Okay, that will be the venue for the launch.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so after you've done the launch of the first one, what are you planning for the second book?
So second book, knock on wood, if all goes well, for 26 next year, the Independence Day. So I'm hoping
Okay.
to have it published around Independence Day next year.
Okay. So what are some of those you expect to attend the first launch?
Of course, like I mentioned, a lot of the women will be inviting them to attend. They will be receiving complimentary copies of the book.
Okay.
We also intend to invite people from the diplomatic community and development sector. Those who do a lot of work around women's rights and women participation, etc. We'll be inviting them.
Okay.
And then the general public, this is a fundraiser. We have tickets on sale. We have tickets starting from $50 up to $200. And those who want to buy a table, some people who just want to buy 20, 30 copies of the book. Some of them will just want to come and have fun because we have food, we have music. Our events are usually a lot of fun. We have this annually. And so we're hoping that it's just going to be a nice way of fundraising, but also appreciating women that are doing living legends.
Okay. Living legends. But I know you got some in the book that are there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I didn't ask you, but before I open the lines, let me hear from you. I know there's nothing you do, that doesn't have, the dance side. What are some of the challenges, difficulties maybe you may have encountered in trying to, get this publication out?
First off, the most difficult thing was getting photos, like quality photos for some of the women, especially those that were nominated that are outside of Monrovia in difficult to reach communities.
Okay.
Getting their photos, quality photos, getting their profiles, and trying to write it in a way that is easy to read and pulling information. Because one of the things is that most women don't like to talk about themselves.
Okay.
They don't like to talk, so you try to pull information. So what a hard time you had, what do you do this, and then you try to make a story out of that, and then what I did, but where did you go to school? Who were your teachers there? What motivates you? What's your favorite quote? So getting some of the information was really, really difficult. That was one main challenge. The second
So how
challenge,
did you get it now, especially for those who are nominated from outside? of-
I had to hire a research assistant that supported me because initially I was doing it by myself. I had to hire a research assistant who would then, take taxi or ride a bike to go somewhere. Like there's one lady they mentioned who lives in Cape Mount,
Okay.
and she has zero social media presence. She, in fact, the phone she uses,
Got a button
they
phone.
can't take pictures. So if you say, let's somebody take a picture and send it to us, you're like, huh? I don't get that one there. So we had to actually take car and go to Cape Mount and snap a photo of her sitting down. And then she was like, oh, okay. So, that was also some of the things that we had as a challenge.
Okay. Okay, let me try to open the lines so that you can interact with a woman, a Liberian woman who's trying to tell the stories of women who served, who work, and who are still working, making their contributions felt in the country. So you can now put your calls on 0776 540 987. 0776 540 987, or better still 0880 514 096. Again, 0880 514 096. Let's take this first caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sorbor. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Ishmael Adi Jameson, then running for Unity, and I do join you from Poya, Lopa County, Liberia.
Let's hear from you.
Thank you so much. Let me actually appreciate our studio guest this morning. Man, thank you for the hard work. It's just like what you have said series of things that actually make me to feel fine to call this morning. All about life is not only about government. Sometimes you need to do things to make the life look better. So I encourage you keep doing the good job for the women. Someone who has fell must be appreciated, even those when they are alive or even those who are dead. So thank you, may God bless you. Bye bye.
Many thanks also 0776540987 or better still 0880514096. Good morning.
Good morning, Sorbor George.
Good morning, Mama.
I'm Sharon Halley, and I love to be called Sharon Wave. I do join you from Seattle and Sinker. I'm so glad to hear our mother in studio for her experience and the things she's been doing. I'm glad. And today is a special day to me. I'm just having that joy in my heart to hear a shot of female. And due to her experience and what she has been doing, I take that to be something great. And I'm taking her to be a role model. And let me just use this medium, Sorbor George, to say happy International Day of a Gay Child to all women out there. Let's do the best, and I think we can do more than our male counterparts. Thank you so much.
You sure of that? That one I differ with you strongly. Good morning. 0776
You are not going to pass you.
No, you're not going to pass me. I would differ with her. 0776 540 Back to the phone line. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm okay.
This is Dr. Molukas calling from the Lopa County Community College.
Let's hear from you, sir.
Yes, I want to commend the woman in the studio, our mother there. She has done so much well. And like you have treated with her before, I think she needs to do the men legend. Because she has done the women legend, I will join you to play with her to do the men legend so that we can have a complete society.
Many thanks. Many thanks. Many thanks. You see, I got somebody joining me to appeal to you. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, this caller is not on 0776 540 or better still 0880 Let's take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Kulambeleti Wulu Najon you from Greenville in Sino County.
Let's hear from you, Chief.
Yeah, to say thank.
Hello? Hello? Oh, this caller is not there. Let's take this other caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Saki calling you from Bon County. Yeah, I'm so much glad to hear this female on the air today that she registered for. But I'm so much impressed by her, she's a great woman, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Okay. Many thanks. 0776 540 or better still 0880 514 That's the number to call, and you are live. 0880 514 or better still 0776 540 Okay, so since we are still, let me take this caller and then I'll come back to you. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Mildred Dean. I'd just like to commend Brenda Moore for her achievements. And I'd like to look forward to her book launch on November 19th.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Many
So
thanks.
who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, I'd just like to commend Brenda Moore on her achievements. She's done so well in such a short time. So I look forward to her book launch on November 19th. And I do know Brenda, so I just want to congratulate her and commend her. She has boundless energy and very thought-provoking projects. So congratulations, Brenda.
Thank you, Sis
And
Mildred.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Many thanks. I think another call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
My name is Roger Ruple calling from Terry Tabaru.
Let's hear from you, Madam Ruple.
I just want to appreciate our sister in studio. I tell her thank you. I pray that God continue to strengthen her to do more.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah. Morning.
Yes, morning, ma.
This is Zina K. Gabo calling from Jalan.
Okay.
I'm so grateful today for this minute to call for this minute. I want my voice to be heard on this day. I'm the longest serving honor teenage teacher responsible of Nigeria. I got my PhD degree from the University of Nigeria to be specific. William B.S. Stockman Teachers College. Since then, I've been honor stage. This is another where I'm making a free a month. Those are people I could be conducting workshops for. Shut up. Oh my God.
Okay. Okay, Mama. Thank you. We hear that. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? Okay, it seems this call is not there. Let's take this other caller quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, this caller is out. Let's take this other caller. Good morning.
Morning, Sorbor George.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
I'm calling from Kakata, Makibe County. The strong political party. Sorbor, if the 12 years are passed away, if women are coming up like they are sister and mother in the studio today, by this time women are they come and be very strong to do business. And thank you for the program, Sorbor George. May the Lord Almighty bless you, and He bless your family, and your sister and mother in the studio. Thank you very much, Sorbor.
Many thanks also. We did appreciate your time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
I'm Madam Orita, the rest from the ECOWAS Civil Society Movement of Liberia.
Okay.
I want to thank our sister in studio for that very unique book, for making women voices to be heard in this nation. Women are no longer sitting behind, they are moving forward. I think I will be at that launching. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mama. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Sorbor George.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah, Governor George, we are calling from Grand Pastor Compton. I listened to our mother Israel this morning. They keep on carrying a good way up. Yeah, God bless her and do more. Thank you very much for the program.
Many thanks. 0776-540-987 or better still 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sorbor.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, this is S. Lauren Bobo calling from Lovakande to be specific where district calling to president we are in legislative 23. Okay, so first of all, let me appreciate the mother in studio. What make me so happy with her when you ask her all the way you doing, are you paid? She says she's doing nothing for pay. And the mother have the mind to develop Liberian. She should not also forget about bail. Because if we just go in the streets in Liberia, red light, so the man give them bail. So therefore, let us take a look so that as a mother, she'll be a good mother. Thank you, Mama. Don't get over for your success. Liberia will wake up again.
Amen. Many thanks. Good morning.
Yes.
Let's go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I'm ever here again calling for focus because I would need some of the copy of the book, like in Bogota, so that we can get a copy so that we can read to read Madam work.
Okay, many thanks. 0776, I take 3 more calls and I'll wrap it up quickly. 0776-540-987 or better still 0880-514-096. That's the number to call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, today, guys. What inspired me about what's inspired me about the Bible? By the time we read Jesus' story, we are more inspired, we are not seeing it, but everything was positive. So this is going to give an opportunity to our young women to be positive, of reading stories of great people and how they achieve. It's not about being negative. So I like how positive, that you just have put into place into this. I want to say thank you to her.
Many thanks. 0776 540-987, or better still 0880-514-096. We take two more calls and then wrap it up quickly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
All right, that is Mrs. Phil Fafi calling from Bojaman Lofa.
Okay.
I want to say a very big thank you to our sister in studio. We are so proud of her. She's one of the pride of Liberia. So we are just encouraging her to continue the good work that she's doing for women. I want to say thank God for her and thank you very much. We just want to encourage her to keep up and not to give up. Thank you very much.
Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks. We'll take one more call and wrap it up quickly. 0776-540-987, or better still 0880-514-096. Let's see this call on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Papa.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah. I'm Steve Redington. I'm calling from the Maryland County.
Okay, let's hear from you.
I would like to congratulate our mother there. Keep on good work and the whole matter she got to tell her. I also want to say thank you for your show this morning.
Many thanks. Let's take this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, go ahead quickly. Okay, you are not ready. Let's see what we can take the last one. And we go back to our studio guests to respond and allow her to go. 0880-514-096. Better still, 0776-540-987. That's the number to call. Let's take the last caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
This is our Download Yes Katakau from the Lofa County Community College.
Okay.
You know, I want to take this time to give thanks and appreciation to Mrs. Mo. You know, I was serving as county education officers in Bapolo, and we go there. You're going to see the mark of Mrs. Mo. You go to Supplement, you go to Bomb Mine, and you're going to see all of these work. She has started long ago when I was serving as county education officer. But today, to hear that she's launching such a book, I'm one of those that really admire her work, and we are going to support her to the full end.
Okay, many thanks. Let's go back to our studio guests. Madam O, you listen to the concerns and the appeal for you to do a book on the achievements of men also.
Yes. I will start with the last caller. Honorable Katako, it's been a while. It's happy to hear your voice. Thank you for the warm words of encouragement. And so, I mean, you heard a lot of the women are just excited about hearing about the project and, the highlighting of other women. We should celebrate each other.
Okay.
One thing I didn't mention is that those who are interested in purchasing copies of the book after we launch or attending the fundraiser can actually call 0880-797-499.
Okay.
0880-797-499. So we'll be able to bring your ticket to the event, to your location, and have it delivered. Around Monrovia now.
Okay.
I appreciate it that people also see value with this, and I'm also hearing that the men want their own book. Like I said, it's not in my immediate vision. Maybe down the road, because I need to complete book 2 first. So my focus now is on launching book 1 and then book 2 by 26 next year. So it's possible. It's not never, but it's not on my radar at the moment.
Okay, we really appreciate you being here today. We wish you success. We wish you all the best, and we're hoping that you do one for the men, and at least some of us will be mentioned in your book. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Calling all the women, calling every single brother. Woman, let us unite.